In this episode, I'm covering 7 core membership sales rules you need to know if you want to hit your first $1 million in membership sales. Welcome to the $1 Million Memberships Podcast, where we help entrepreneurs like yourself start, grow, and scale multiple 6- and 7-figure online memberships with simple, step-by-step strategies that actually work.
Your life is about to get so good.
Let's dive in. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the $1 Million Memberships Podcast. I'm excited for this episode. I always feel like I say that, but I'm always excited. I love being on the podcast. I love hanging out with you guys, even though I can't actually see you. I know you're there. A few of you have been messaging me, or I've gotten a few messages just in this past week about the podcast and how you're enjoying it, and just hearing different stories of how the podcast has helped you with your own unique memberships and like which episodes you're really loving listening to. And I just want to say, as like a blanket, I know I've been so thrilled, and probably you felt that excitement from me when I responded to those of you who messaged me. But I want to put out there as just a blanket to everyone, I freaking love hearing from you. Like, I just cannot say it enough. I love hearing what episodes are resonating with you and helping you. Yeah, it's just really cool getting to hear from you and know who's listening and being able to actually talk to you and have an actual conversation with you instead of the one-sided conversation. Even though I love the podcast, again, I love the podcast, but it's just really cool being able to see who's listening and actually get to talk to you guys. Basically, my appreciation to you, and I love hearing from you. Okay, so let's get into this episode. The theme inside of my membership, $1 Million Memberships Club, this month is launching and sales planning. And so inside $1 Million Memberships Club, we're focusing our month, our themes, our workshop is completely on that, on launching and sales planning, and just really making sure that we're getting our members crystal clear on their launch and sales cadence for 2026, what strategies to use to sign members consistently, all the things. So if you are inside $1 Million Memberships Club, this is just going to be a really great episode to pair what we're doing inside the club with. If you're not inside a $1 Million Memberships Club, these are still very good rules to know when it comes to membership sales and making sure that you're really committing to these. The only difference is inside $1 Million Memberships Club, we actually obviously are giving you the strategies, the templates, the blueprints, the checklists, step-by-step guides, all the things with what we're covering here today. So if you're not inside $1 Million Memberships Club and you want to be, pause this episode and go to our show notes. That's where I always have all of the links. So like any sort of resource, even free resources that I have for growing your membership, they're all in the show notes. Our link to get into $1 Million Memberships Club is in there as well. If you're listening to this and we're closed, then you can get on the wait list. If you're listening to this and you go there and you find that we're open, make sure you get in right away before we close again. But this is just across the board a really important episode and just some really important things to know. And I feel like when it comes to sales and just like thinking of all the things that you need to do in your membership business at any given day, at any given time, it can get really overwhelming because it's like, okay, well, we have to create content for the membership to promote it. And then I also should have strategic launches. And then I also have to make sure I'm taking care of my members inside. And then I also have to make sure I'm creating content for my membership. And if you don't have a really structured cadence and a really clear grasp at what actually needs to happen inside of your business, it can just feel like everything is very frantic and everything is very urgent. So something I really like to do, especially inside of $1 Million Memberships Club, is my thing is like really just trying to pull back and make things as simple as possible. Obviously, there's so many directions that you can go with sales. There's so many complicated funnels that you can do and twists and turns and all of the things. And that's great, but only if you have your foundations in place. And what I see a lot of times is people are trying these like super complicated funnels or like super complicated sales tactics when they don't even have the foundations in place. And so it's just kind of coming across as a mess. You're burning yourself out trying to sell, nothing's working. And so personally, my approach whenever I am teaching anything to do with business, with memberships, is I always want to make it as simple as possible. Let's get the foundations in and then let's build from there. And that is what we're going to be covering here today. So 7 core membership sales rules that you need to know if you're trying to hit your first million in membership sales. Number one is visibility is literally oxygen to your membership. I'm going to say it again because it's very important. Visibility is oxygen to your membership. And here's the thing. Here's where a lot of people go wrong. Is they're focusing so much on, again, the membership, the ins and outs, creating content, all of these things, where a lot of times people will just kind of put like things like content creation and social media and like all of that stuff kind of off to the side because they're like, oh, that's not my zone of genius. I hate creating content. That's not my thing. I just want to have a really great, thriving membership. So I'm going to focus on my membership. And unfortunately, the membership is only half of the puzzle, right? Like we have to have people in our world, in our bubble, we have to have people aware of us in order for our membership to work. Because you could have the best membership in the world, it could be amazing. You could have the best content inside, you could have the best deliverables, but at the end of the day, if you don't have eyeballs on your membership, you're not going to have people inside of your membership, which means you're not going to have sales, you're not going to make income, and your membership is eventually going to fizzle out because you won't be able to get it up and off the ground. So you need to be visible. This means on social media. This could be a podcast if that's your thing. Maybe you're a YouTuber, you have a YouTube channel. Regardless of where you are, pick one place and be extremely visible. Make it your job to get extremely visible. And again, it can be very overwhelming because we have social media, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have LinkedIn, we have Substack, we have all of these things. Pick one. If you know that you need to work on your visibility and this isn't really your strong suit right now, pick one and go all in with that. Here's how I look at it is you need to pick one and you need to be the resource for your niche. Don't just be good, be the best. You should be somebody that people are automatically going and searching for when they are trying to get help in that area. So for me, if someone is trying to grow their membership, it should ring true in their mind, or at least I am working on it to ring true in people's minds that, oh yeah, Paige Vandy. Oh yeah, she's the membership person. Oh yeah, the membership muse on Instagram. That's the girl who helps with memberships, who knows all the things about memberships, right? That's my goal is to become the absolute best. And it's not even just being the most like loud on social media, it's actually being the best. So like actually studying what it is that whatever it is that your niche is, like you are studying that. That is your job to become the best, become the most knowledgeable, all of the things. Okay, that's this could be a different episode. I'm not going to go on that because again, I could go on for a long time and we got to move on. So, number 1 is visibility is oxygen to your membership. Number 2 is urgency is required for people to take action. If people can join your membership anytime, they're always going to say later. And later rarely comes. Like think about it. It could be anything. It could be somebody needing to buy a new car and then they're saying, "Okay, I really need to get a new car. I'm not going to do it this month because I have X, Y, and Z bills that just came out. I'm going to go do it next month." And so then next month rolls around and then they're like, "Oh crap, I just had so and so's wedding. I just had this, and this. Okay, this month is not going to be good. Okay, I'll do it next month." And the cycle repeats. A car is a really big example. It could literally be anything. A lot of the times, people are going to just come up with why it's not the best time and they're going to wait. Oh, well, I already have this much on my plate. Maybe I'll wait till my schedule clears up and then I'll go into it, right? It doesn't always have to be about money. It could literally be about time and their schedule and their capacity. So if you give them all of the time, there's always going to be a better time, but then that better time actually doesn't come, right? We know that. And creating urgency around your membership is not necessarily pressuring people to go into your membership, because I think this is where a lot of people kind of get tripped up too, and they get weird feelings about creating urgency to join the membership. It's not about pressure. It's not about pressuring people. It's about getting people to actually make a decision. If your membership doesn't necessarily have to close in order for this to be a thing. Like you guys know, if you've been here for a while and you listen to this podcast quite regularly, you know that I believe 80%, 90% of memberships are better having an open close schedule, meaning they're not always open all year round, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the case. If your membership is evergreen, which also I have a lot of members and clients who have evergreen memberships and do fantastic. So just so you know, Evergreen can be great as well. Okay. It's just you have to look at different ways to create urgency if you have an evergreen membership. So if your membership is always open, how can you create urgency for people to join now versus keep waiting? So this could be like disappearing bonuses or limited time opportunities for something that you're giving away or something happening inside of your membership. You just have to get creative of how you can create urgency in a membership that is always open. So, number two is urgency is required for people to take action. Moving on. Number three is live experiences sell better than trying to sell via email, social media, or any other channel that you have, like a podcast, YouTube, whatever. So, your membership is going to sell the best. You're going to have the highest sales rate when people can really feel the community and or they can really feel the value before they buy. So, doing something like a live workshop or a challenge or a masterclass or a roundtable or even like a live pop up event, like things like this are going to be much better. You're going to have a way higher conversion rate than just trying to sell through, say, like Instagram stories or your reels or a sales page. People can actually feel the energy, number one. They're actually sitting there paying attention for however long, 60 minutes or a couple days or whatever. They're immersed in what it is that you are doing. They're not just seeing your reel pop up or seeing your story pop up, seeing a quick little blurb about your membership and then moving on somewhere else. Like they're actually sitting there in your world. They're actually understanding what their problem might be. Oh, here are actual step by steps of how I can get started to get this result that I really want. Oh, here's the membership. And it actually, if I take this next step inside of this membership, here's how I will actually get X, Y, and Z to get that result. So inside $1 Million Memberships Club, we call these incubator events. So if you ever hear me say incubator event on the podcast, it's because that's what I call these inside $1 Million Memberships Club. It's kind of the term that I coined for live sales events. And the reason why I call them incubator events is because you are taking people off of social media or off of wherever, you're gathering them into this live event, off of your email list, wherever. And you're gathering them into this live event, this container, this incubator, if you will, and you are warming them up, warming them up, warming them up, and getting them ready to buy by the end of the incubator event. So, whether that's at the end of the webinar or at the end of the challenge or whatever it is, you are warming them up, showing them the actual value, getting them to experience little bits of the actual value, giving them actual mini results and mini wins, and actually helping them right there in real time so that by the time it's time to sell your membership, it's a no brainer. It's such an easy, no brainer next step to go into your membership. Whereas to do that on social media, that could take months. That could take a really long time for someone to actually get so consumed in your content where they're binging your content or they've seen your reels pop up enough times in order for them to buy. Doing it in something like an incubator event for an hour or over a couple of days, while that takes time to actually set up, that's something that will actually sell your membership. That's something that you can actually rely on to sell rather than just kind of hoping that your reel is going to land with someone. So, inside $1 Million Memberships Club, we teach you how to host these really big sales events a few times a year and even teach you how to do mini incubators. So, we teach you how to do these larger incubators just a few times a year so you're not always selling, and then even give you blueprints on how to do little mini incubators to sell behind the scenes just in those in between months. And everything is broken down step by step with our full sales and launching blueprints. Number four is that automated sales engines are an absolute must. So if you ever see someone on social media and they get on their stories and they're like, oh, I woke up to $10,000 in sales this morning, this is what they're referring to. They weren't up all night trying to sell people stuff. They didn't have like a reel that just popped off. They have an automated sales funnel. And this is an absolute non negotiable, especially if you want to build a membership that is going to scale to seven figures, past seven figures. You need to have something like this set up in place. You cannot be selling at that volume yourself. Really quick, I want to send you my membership starter kit completely free. And I might be absolutely insane for doing this because it's normally $147 and it's packed with templates, pricing guides, setup resources to launch your membership, naming your membership, literally all of the things. I want to send it to you for free. And all I ask in return is that you leave this podcast a 5-star rating and written review on Apple iTunes. That's it. Seriously, that is it. So pause this if you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, scroll down to the bottom where you see the reviews, tap the 5 stars, leave me a written review, screenshot it before you submit it, and then send that screenshot to support@paigevandy.com. I will leave it all in the show notes for you. I'll leave the instructions in there, but that is literally it. Once we verify it, we'll send you the starter kit completely for free. No strings attached, just your review. I'll leave the instructions in the show notes so it's so easy for you to do, and then you can come back and enjoy the episode. So even when you are not doing a live incubator event, you have sales happening behind the scenes all the time because you have something like this in place. Now, in order for this to actually work though, you need to have a couple of things. Number one is you need to have an insanely, and I mean insanely, good free offer or resource, something that's like someone watches it and they feel like there was a mistake and they actually weren't supposed to get that for free. And they're like, oh my God, was I supposed to pay for that? Did they mess up? Like you want it to be that good that someone's like, wow, I cannot believe I just got that for free. One of mine is I have a masterclass. It's a 60-minute masterclass and it's teaching you my exact 4-step system to grow an online community that generates 7 figures. So it's just my methodologies, what I do broken down super simply in 4 steps. You can actually find the link to this in the show notes as well. Then you need to have just a super no-brainer short window entry point for someone to join your membership right then and there from that free offer. Then you also need to have a really good email funnel attached to that. So I always say have a 2-week minimum email funnel that goes out, something that's really helping them even more with whatever it was that they signed up for. So whatever the result is that they wanted, how can you go even deeper into that with them in the email sequence, sharing some member wins or some case studies or testimonials, sharing some of your own story, like really just making sure that there's some good information and content in that email sequence. And that's all selling your membership. So literally, that's a huge thing, right? People are getting a training, then they're getting this option to join your offer. And then if they don't necessarily go into your offer, they're still getting nurtured even more so that maybe by the next time you open your membership, they're going to be ready to buy or whatever it is, right? So, something important to remember with this is with automated sales funnels, if someone doesn't buy right then and there, they're still in your email list. They're still in your world. Maybe they just needed a little bit more warm up. A no does not mean a no forever. It just means a not right now. Maybe they'll come into your membership later. So even if you're getting people into your funnel and you're like, oh, I'm not getting like a 6% conversion rate or a 20% conversion rate or whatever it is, obviously look at the funnel, make sure that it can be improved, but then also know getting people into your world through that funnel is just a huge accomplishment on its own. And that's something that creates future buyers. So something like this obviously takes time to set up, but it's something that you set up once and it will provide for you forever after that. So it's really important that you have something like this. And again, it needs to be valuable. Don't be stingy. People literally have access to everything they need at their fingertips right now. You need to really make sure that this stands out and that it's something that's not going to be a waste of someone's time. Number 5 is that your launch needs to feel like the membership is the obvious next step. So again, this is kind of like the same thing as point number 4 is that when you are going and launching, so let's just say that you are picking a live masterclass to launch your membership with. That content of your live masterclass, number 1, needs to be so good that people again are like, wow, I cannot believe I got this for free. But also number 2, it should be a very clear tee up to your membership. So the content and the information that you give inside this masterclass, this should really be giving the why and the what of whatever it is that you teach. It should also be giving them some really good, solid, practical things that they can implement today in their life or their business or whatever it is that your membership is for or that your masterclass was teaching on. It should be actually valuable that they get something from it. But then, in order for them to get the full result, that huge result that they actually want, the full thing, that should be your membership. That should be a clear, this is your next step. If you actually want to take this one step further and get the full result, here you go. Number 6 is that you need to sell the outcome, not the access of what people get. So you need to really be selling what is the result that your membership is giving. And you might be like, well, yeah, obviously, but I see so many people, and even check yourself with this. Maybe go look at like your last Instagram stories or wherever you tried to sell last, your email list, whatever. Go check and see what were you selling? Because so many people will say in their sales, or so many people will really use the focus points of you get a community, you get monthly calls, you get reviews, you get X, Y, and Z. They say all this stuff that they get, but they don't actually speak to what are they actually getting, which is the result. By them staying or joining your membership, staying in your membership, participating in your membership, what is that actual result that they're getting? That is what you need to be selling because people don't care how they get to where they want to go. They just care that they get there. So that's what you need to really, really be selling. So I really encourage you, if you're having trouble selling your membership right now, go back and look at what you're actually saying to sell your membership. Are you speaking to what they get or are you speaking to what they get, what they actually will get with the result? Are you speaking to that result? Are you speaking to that actual outcome? That is what is going to get people to join. And number 7 is you want to keep all of this as simple as possible. Again, like I said in the beginning of this, so many people will think of a sales strategy and then make it as complicated as possible and then not get people in. And so then they're focusing on more sales, and they're constantly just focusing on how to get more people inside of my membership, but then their membership starts to suffer because they don't have the time to focus on the membership. So you need to just keep it as simple as possible. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I tell our members inside Million Dollar Memberships Club. You really need to just remember to focus on two things. You are always switching between visibility and sales pushes. Visibility and sales pushes. And when I say sales pushes, I should say strategic sales pushes. So, like incubator events, but always switching between the two: visibility, strategic sales pushes. When you do this, you know exactly when you can expect new members. You don't feel like you're always selling. So, you actually get to start selling less because you know when your sales pushes are coming, you know exactly how you're going to create the urgency to get people in during those times. And then all of the other times, all of the other months in the year, you're focusing on visibility. And I should also say, there's a little bit of like a also point with this. Whenever I'm focusing on visibility, whenever our members are focusing on visibility, you're also always focusing on your membership. Okay. So you're always like, for me personally, when I'm not in a massive sales push, which is most of the time, I'm only in a massive sales push 2 to 3 times a year. I'm always then focusing on visibility and making sure the membership is as good as it can possibly be. So making refinements, like all of the things, that's always the focus. So anytime you're in a visibility phase, you're also focusing on the membership. Okay. But when you are just really focusing on those two things and going back and forth, all of this actually becomes so simple. But what most people miss is the actual strategy to do those sales pushes. They're just constantly are relying on things like social media or their podcast, but no other actual strategy behind it, just kind of saying, hey, join my membership. So when you actually get the strategy behind your sales, and then you can go back and forth between visibility and sales pushes, your life is going to become so much easier and you are going to scale your membership. And honestly, some of my clients who have the biggest membership businesses sell the least throughout the year. I'm talking like 1 to 2 sales pushes a year. And they have the biggest membership businesses because they know exactly when they're going to be selling. And then they know what needs to be done in those in between months. They know that they need to focus on visibility so that the next time they sell, they have so many more leads in their lead pool. And then they have urgency because they only sell twice a year. So all those people in the lead pool know if they want to get into this membership that they've been looking forward to, they need to get in now because the door doors are going to close. Or again, if you have an evergreen membership, you're coming up with different ways to create the urgency. So keeping it as simple as possible and just making the basics extremely good. That is what you need to do. So let's go over the list one more time so you don't miss anything. So number 1 is visibility is oxygen to your membership. Number 2 is urgency is required for people to take action. Number 3 is live experiences sell better than trying to sell via email, social media, or any other channel. Number 4 is automated sales engines are a must. Number 5 is your launch should feel like the membership is the obvious next step. Number 6 is you sell the outcome, not the access. And number 7 is you need to keep it all as simple as possible. So, getting to your first million in membership sales is not about selling more. This is all going to be about being really strategic and creating a need and urgency around your membership. And again, mastering these basics. That is it for this episode. We're kind of trying a new style with these episodes, almost like these list formats like this episode. So let me know if you like this style, because that also really helps me make sure that I'm bringing you content that you love and that's really easy for you to digest and gets you obviously the best results with your membership. So if you liked this style episode, come find me on Instagram at the membership muse and let me know. I again always appreciate your messages, or you can also leave this podcast a rating and review, and I read every single one of those. And those also just really help me and create a lot of confirmation on what is working inside of the podcast so that I can keep bringing you episodes that you love and that help you. All right, guys, that is it for now. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you next week. Bye.